Welcome into the Washed Up Walk-Ons podcast, brought to you this season by the beautiful people at FanDuel. Kevin, how about it?
I guess they hate money because we're going to be passing out some winners this year.
Well, maybe they're banking on us not passing out winners. That's generally the business idea.
You think that we return to the mean this year? We return to the average?
Last year was pretty good, huh?
Do you have the records from last year?
Grant does. I know Grant does. But we did pretty – I think all three of us were profitable should you have bet the same unit per bet.
Yeah.
The Walk-Ons had a good year. The year before that, I know we gave money to the casino. Or at least collectively we did. But yeah, we're pretty stoked to have FanDuel on this year. We'll do a little more with them later on in the show, something relevant to the conversation we'll be having. But it's just me and Kevin tonight. No Grant. Don't know what he's doing. Don't know what he could possibly be doing. Is it weird that when Grant's not here, I feel less pressure?
You feel pressure? You feel the pressure with Grant here?
I don't know if I feel pressure, but I was on a walk with Ken Diesel like 45 minutes ago, and I'm sitting there doing the most prep that I do for this podcast, and that is basically like a very rough mental outline of what I want to talk about, how I want to go about the 60 minutes or so. And what came to mind was, for some reason, when I'm just with Kevin, I don't know if it feels like we're just back at the Benton house. We're just sitting in that little hallway, having a chat across the
solving the world's problems.
Yeah, solving the world's problems. But without Grant here, I don't know if I'll call it pressure, but I just feel like it's just you and me. There's no one else here but you and me, Kev. Which is technically true currently, like as we do this. Which it won't be true this year as we go live on Sunday and Wednesday nights. How do you feel about the live feature this year?
Oh, we're doing that?
We're doing that.
I didn't know that.
So now the Monday and Thursday episodes that we do, so the recap and preview pods, we will live stream the recording of those on the Sundays and Wednesday nights that we do them. They will still go up on Mondays and Thursdays for people to listen to later if they can't catch the live stream.
Where are we live streaming on all platforms?
All platforms, which it basically means 3 platforms: X, Facebook, and YouTube.
All right, then.
We could technically start a Twitch channel too if we want.
We'll do it live.
Well, fuck it, we'll do it live. Yeah, I don't know. Grant, I guess Grant elevates me in a way that like I can't waste this kid's time. I can waste Kevin's time. Can't waste Grant's time. Lots to talk about tonight. As this episode comes out, it'll actually be Thursday, the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th of August, which means we are 3 weeks and 2 days away from game day. Getting close. The boys are in camp right now. How do we feel about that?
Camp ain't what it used to be, so I don't feel bad for them.
Do you know what they do now? For like
how many days?
Yeah.
It's like 13 or something like that.
No. That short?
It's not that long, I don't think.
Jeez. Everyone always says, "Oh yeah, like every previous generation has always got the back in my day." But man, it did not take long for us to have a legitimate ground to stand on when it comes to camp wasn't what it was 10 years ago.
I mean, you can quantify that, right? It's like our first camp was 23 days long.
Yeah,
and
with 2 days.
We had 2 days, right?
Yeah.
And you can also quantify it back another 15 years prior to that. It was the same amount of time. It was still like 3 weeks, but they did 2 days every single day.
Every day.
So, the amount of practices that you're doing, it's definitely come down. I'd be interested to see if they had. I don't think they have the data, but like the injury rate.
I was just going to say that
to today
has to be one of the reasons why it's come down.
Yeah, I think people in football have just gotten smarter. It's like, hey, you're going to win when your best players are on the field. Your best players are more likely to be on the field when you're smart about how much load you're putting on them.
Yeah.
So, and if your best players are fresh too, like fresh legs mean a whole lot more than mental toughness.
I'll say this, with a roster limit of 105, you can't do much more than 2 weeks of camp. You're going to have guys dropping like flies.
Yeah.
I mean, think about how important those extra 25 guys were to the structure of camp.
I'm just going to, they don't do a whole lot of scout team work in camp, really not much at all. But, once they get into scout work, then the scout teams are going to get worked a lot harder. They're not going to have any, it's not that we really care that much about the scout team, but they're not going to have any subs. They're going to be pretty tight.
It's going to be some good conditioning.
You're going to have the 2 deep on either side of the ball. And then, you're going to have one scout team running for either side of the ball.
Ugh. Stuff.
Yeah.
Do you have a, we've talked about previously how you have some negative camp memories, or maybe some negative emotions that come up.
Emotions, feelings, those first couple years were tough.
Do you have any positive ones that come up?
Positive camp memories. It's all relative, right? Because at the end of a day, when you finally get back to your room, it's like 9 o'clock and you have your snack, whether it's your Chick-fil-A, your Pancheros, or every now and then you got a whole pizza from Pizza Hut, or you got your Dairy Queen Blizzard.
Oh,
I remember that is about as happy as I possibly remember being, just in total, relative to
life.
Everything,
life,
right? Exactly. But it's just because you had such a shitty day that reprieve, that 30-minute reprieve, just to eat your snack in silence, maybe mess around with your boys before you go to sleep. That was the best.
Whoa, what? What kind of mess?
I said what I said.
Okay. All right. It is really hard to describe. Oh my God. I just got goosebumps thinking about it. I don't know if that kind of shit will ever go away, but it is hard to describe even for the long snapper. Cause it's again, as Kevin just said, it's all relative. So for me, it was long days too. It wasn't as long as their days, but relative to what I just come off of in my, summer of after senior year, it was I wasn't doing shit. I mean, I was not doing anything. I was working out and hanging out with the boys from back home. Hey, one last hurrah before we all go off to college. And then you go into camp and it was 23 days and there were 2-a-days and you don't know what you're doing. I mean, you are just, I wonder if there's any, there is other places, but if there's any other places in life, at 18 years old, where you get thrown into a system or a team that has such high expectations and such little time given for you to just figure it out and get on board. The only place I can think of is the military.
Yeah, I'm sure other sports experience it too, but
outside of sports in general.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Do you remember how fast those first few days of camp go? Everything is just the speed of light.
Your head's just spinning. Yeah, exactly. I do remember one of those first nights where I remember it's maybe day 3 or day 4, and I'm sitting at the desk in the hotel room, just eating my Pancheros burritos, probably zoning out, looking like a zombie. And then Coach Parker knocks on the door. He's like, "Why aren't you in your playbook?" I'm like, "Oh fuck!
Oh no!
Ruined my one 15-minute span of happiness." I'm
You're
sorry,
Coach. I'm trying not to kill myself.
I'll get into it here.
Do you think in that moment, Coach Parker, how much of him is actually going how much of him is actually enjoying the moment where he's I know exactly what this kid's going through. I know that that's a snarky comment, but or is he just actually oh, this fucking guy's not in his playbook.
This guy doesn't love football enough.
Guy doesn't even want it.
See, spending 20 minutes before bed not thinking about football. This kid ain't gonna make it.
There's no way this kid gets through this program.
It's probably a little bit of both, honestly.
I think.
No, you're expected to learn really quickly. So, if you're not studying each night and you show up the next day and you can't name what formation's on the board, it's a bad look, right?
Was there a lot of anxiety to that?
Totally, yeah.
Because that's not something that I ever had to deal with.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, Coach Parker's an intimidating guy, no doubt.
Yeah.
So like if you get called out in front of the whole position group, it's like, hey, tell me what formation this is, what player running, pretend you're the strong safety here. What are your responsibilities? And if you can't answer, it's like you feel like a dumbass, right? Because it feels like everybody else in the room besides maybe the 3 other freshmen like know exactly what's going on. It's like, it's like you're getting introduced to calculus, but you still only do, basic algebra.
I think about all the time how people come to this podcast. Welcome in, by the way, for anybody who's new. I know we're entering that time of year where we do get the occasional new listeners. My name's Tyler. This is Kevin. We played football, but what I'm actually going to get into is the fact that I don't know if I really did play football. Like I think about you guys. I think about Josie, Drake on the offensive side with an offensive game plan. I think about like the defense that I played in high school as linebacker. And I like to think of myself as like, oh yeah, I could have done it if I was just like better physically. I don't know if I could have. I don't know if I could have handled a playbook. I didn't know shit. I still don't know shit about football, Kevin. I don't know. Like, if you sat me down and you're like, hey, what are the basic responsibilities in this defense? What zone does this guy have in cover 2? Kevin, I don't know. I don't know that stuff. I don't know I don't know basic offensive, like what these 5 linemen, you're blocking this. Like, I don't know that shit. I run a football podcast. I mean, there's some stuff that like you could probably figure out. You could draw it up, but I don't think
it's just like anything else. You can learn it, but you didn't spend 5 years learning it. So unless Coach Reed dragged you into the linebackers room,
which he did a couple times. Clover, get your ass in here. God.
I'm just trying to play some ping pong, Coach.
I'm literally sitting in the back of the fucking linebackers room, like looking over at Josie and Bo, like, what am I doing here? Because Coach Reed drugged me in there out of a game of pool, just trying to play pool. Man. Yeah, positive memories again.
Do you ever want to learn how to play football? No. Okay.
No, especially not now. I got kids. No. Football was really, really fun when I was the middle linebacker and I was the best player on the defense. And it was basically like, hey, we're kind of relying on you and our one decent safety to basically fly.
It's like, hey, we're playing cover 3 and you go tackle the ball carrier.
Yeah, fly around and get the ball. Yeah. Just fly around and get the ball. Flying around, an exaggeration for me. Certainly not with 2 kids. I don't have time to study defense.
Could you draw me up like a basic defensive setup, like an over setup, or an under defense? Do you know where the linemen's like what a 1 tech 2
Yeah, I understand I understand what you're asking for. I would not get it right. No.
Okay.
I could try. I would not
get. If we run an over or an under defense?
No. My basic guess would be that we run an under defense.
We do. 50-50 chance. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, and I don't have any. Yeah, I have no. We're fighting, and everybody listening to the pod. It only took 7 years, and now we know Kluver is retarded. Okay, and we got it. All right, but hey, we run a good ship around here. FanDuel pays us to do a football podcast, as does Big Grove Brewery. Shout out to Big Grove.
Shout out to him.
Look at that
little swag package, little care package.
Did you get that?
Yeah. Alyssa's super hyped about the sweatshirt.
Oh, dude, hold on a second. Shout out to BG, huh?
Oh, there you go. I didn't get that one.
I got a couple different things. Boys got a little spending money.
But yeah, I was out of town when it came in, and I'm like, oh, you can go ahead and open it, and she's like, oh yeah, there's this sweatshirt. I don't know if he wanted it or anything. He's like,
oh yeah, she was like, I mean, it's not that great. I'll wear it. No, it's
she's
good
like,
stuff.
yeah, so you can have it. It's like, great, I wore it all day yesterday.
Big Grove's putting out for the boys. Again, pause on that, but they kind of are this season. We're gonna be heading there very, very soon to dine. The official watch party of the Iowa Hawkeyes. Let me get the actual script on that. Big Grove Brewery, they are the official craft brewery of the Iowa Hawkeyes. They're the official watch party headquarters of the Iowa Hawkeyes, and Easy Eddie is the official craft beer of the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Easy Eddie's pretty easy to delete 3 or 4 of those.
They're freaking good. Are they easy?
They're pretty easy.
Everybody listening can spend your time this season, if you're not able to make it to Iowa City, at one of the 5 locations. 2 very close right there in Iowa City and Solon. And then you got Cedar Rapids, Des Moines, and the newest one in Omaha. A lot of Hawk fans over there in Omaha. Did you see, this is totally unrelated to football. We will get there, I promise. Did you see this high school kid ran 142 800?
What?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, just got second at the, I don't know what this is, the national championships. Like
the high school natties?
No. Like the American national championships going on this weekend.
Oh, in Eugene?
It might not even be in the, I don't even know where it is. It's a qualifier for something. I don't know. Donovan, high schooler Cooper Lutkenhouse breaks the U18 world record with a 142.27. That is fucking flying.
You got, imagine it's a minute 42 of
that's a 51-1 twice.
Yeah.
Ouch. What did you run a 400 in?
My all-time best was 49.3.
And you went to another dimension for it.
Yeah, I felt pretty bad afterwards.
Yeah, 400's bad. 800's probably worse, honestly.
800 is worse when you're good enough to run a 800 like that.
Yeah.
Basically, once you can run an 800 and under 210, then it becomes worse than the.
Then that hurts really bad.
Yeah.
Did you ever run it?
You have to be in good enough shape for it to hurt worse, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, and that's track is similar to CrossFit. That's the one thing I can relate to is the better you get, the more it hurts because you can just go faster.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That hurts. Did you ever run 800s in high school?
No.
They're like, this guy can't. 1 lap for this guy.
I could. Like I actually have decent endurance, but no, 400 was my thing. So you can only do 4 events. I did the 4x1. I did 4x4, the 400, and then usually I was a high hurdler as well.
High hurdler, huh?
Yeah, the 110 high hurdles.
Wow, this guy's athletic. Shout out to a couple new Patreon subs, by the way, this year. If you're watching on the YouTube, which is going to be a huge part of the show this season. You can join the army through that QR code up in the top corner. Subscribe to the YouTube, more importantly. Great if you can join the army, support the cause. Always provides a little boost to the end of year donation to the kids in Iowa City. Plus, you get the perks, but the YouTube is important. Trying to get to 5,000 subscribers this year. And shout out to Michael, Debbie, Devin, and Andy. 4 brand new Patreon members over this weekend as we sat down to record this episode. So, part of the Walk-On Army, Kev. Walk-On Army, always growing. Did you see this? Iowa's very own Cooper DeJane, 60th on the NFL Top 100.
This is voted on by players, right?
By players.
That's insane,
dude.
That is insane. I mean, the kid had a great rookie season, no doubt, but that's fucking crazy.
I mean, he went from draft. Did he get?
What do you think he is if he doesn't have a pick 6 in the Super Bowl though?
Probably not even top 100. To be fair, which is like not against Coop. He's had one season. He didn't have like some insane amount of picks last year, but that when you get
He's just a really solid player. And he made a couple plays here and there.
I mean, he did force that fumble.
Huge play.
He's a really good tackler.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm excited to see his progression this year. You know, year 1 to year 2, you usually get a
huge jump.
Quite the bump.
Yeah.
And he's still young too.
Man, he's 22.
Yeah.
How it must feel.
Like you can develop too. So
I wonder what he ran 800 in. Did he run 800 or was he a 400 and under guy too? I feel like he had to run everything at OBGYN in high school.
Yeah, that you do all the events.
I mean, maybe there can't be a four event limit on or maybe there is. I don't know. Cooper DeJean ran a personal best 10.66 in the 100, 21.92 in the 200. Looks
I bet he could go sub 50, no problem.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's sub 50. He long jumped. That was his thing. Long jump was 24.2. That's so far.
That's freaking good.
That's so far. Good for him. Sometimes you're just born with more. He's that guy. Your hat is hanging on by a thread, by the way, literally.
Yeah, this hat's probably 13 years old. Wow. 12 years old at this point, but it's got a little sentimental value to it. But yeah, it's
wait, did we get that our freshman year?
The dog, no, I bought this. Okay. The dog has gotten to it a few times, so yeah.
They're trying to reinstitute the presidential fitness test.
They should.
This asshole gets on Twitter. Oh, you can't really read it. This asshole gets on Twitter and says, if I was in charge of the presidential fitness test, 3-mile run, parentheses, 1 mile is not a test of aerobic endurance.
Okay, we're talking about 4th graders here.
I was just going to say, dude, these are school kids. Not everyone's, we're not training elite athletes. Box jump, power.
No.
Breath hold, CO2 tolerance. What are we doing?
What? No.
Dead hang. Over icy water. You need to be strong, but strong under pressure.
This is parody, right?
No, this is for real. And then the last one, plank with a partner on your back.
We are talking about
Could you imagine? Can you imagine getting the yellow school bus to pull up and you're like, all right, it's January 16th. It's time for your presidential fitness test. We trained all first semester for this. We're going out to the icy lake.
Yeah, that's freaking crazy.
We got a pull-up bar over the lake.
So, I don't know about you guys, but for us, it was a half mile in 4th grade. You ran it at the beginning of the year and the end of the year. In 5th grade, it was the mile.
Yeah, somewhere around there it changed. Yeah. That sounds right.
And as a kid, a mile feels like a very, very far distance.
Wow, it's long.
Yeah.
It's long. Holy smokes. It's long, especially when you're tubby. This guy.
You're a tubby kid.
I wouldn't call me like I certainly, you didn't look at me and you're like, wow, the kid's overweight. But when it came to like, okay, we're lining up for the school mile, there were certainly a couple kids who were like, oh, they're a little more slender. They're a little more sleek. They're going to hold up on this mile run that, by the way, not any of these kids train for.
Yeah, no training for it whatsoever.
Some of these kids play sports. I was great if you put me out in flag football, on the soccer field, all the recesses leading up to that.
I mean, half these kids don't have the attention span to spend 8 minutes running.
Yeah. So I'll never forget two kids that would always beat me. A third that I considered it was okay for a kid to beat me. He played on our basketball team. He played on our baseball team. He was definitely smaller than me. I was fine when he beat me. Two other kids that didn't play any sports, but they just had they were born with those slow twitch, that gas tank. They just had it. Shout out. I don't know where these kids are. But shout out Brandon Daniel and Zach Wells. These two could fucking run, man. And they would beat my ass in the beep test, in the mile run.
We never did the beep test.
You never did the beep test?
Never did the beep test.
Wow.
You're talking about the pacer or whatever it was?
Yeah, the pacer. The pacer. Man, that's a bitch. That's a tough one. And every year these kids would beat me, and I'd come in 3rd or 4th in the class, and it lit a fire in my ass, man. A little fire. I'm still to this day. I'm out here running in my neighborhood around my cul-de-sac. Like, I gotta go get Zach Wells' ass, man. I gotta run him down.
I would love to go to my my elementary school. You know, I'm not gonna. I did a lot of cool things in my life, but I was the
Here we go.
The half mile and mile record holder for Ludwig Elementary School. So I would love to go back and see if I still got that there.
I would love to see the times.
I know the times. Oh, I remember.
What are the times?
Yes. Talking about 4th grade half mile, 5th grade mile.
4th grade half mile. I gotta think. Oh my god, what can a 4th grader run a half mile in? So if a high schooler and basically the best person in America is running a 142, can a 4th grader run a 242?
No.
No?
No.
330?
Better than 330.
Okay. I'm pretty good at guessing this kind of stuff, but when you throw it at a 4th grade level, it's like, it's shot in the dark. 315?
301.
301.
301.
Wow. You held a 6-minute mile pace in 4th grade for a half mile. And then the next year you upped it and you're like, wow, I got to run twice as far. And you ran a
You're older though.
6:10 mile?
Really close. 6:09.
Wow, dude. I've only ran faster than a 6:09 to this day at almost 31 years old once. That is really impressive. A 5th grader ran. I shouldn't be surprised, but I am. That's really good.
I was actually running 6-minute miles today. That was my workout today. 6-minute interval mile. So
how many?
3. Just 3.
What was the
mile, minute and a half rest, 6-minute mile.
Oh, 90-second rest?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
We're dialing in, baby. We're dialing in.
What do we have another race on the calendar?
3 weeks from today.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
Yeah.
Where is it?
Chicago Triathlon again.
Oh, it's the same one?
Yeah.
And I have to imagine this we're trying to beat last year's time.
Yeah, we are trying to beat last year's. Well, really, we're trying to finish. The whole debacle, tires on the bike go out at 18 miles. So, had to walk that back to the transition, then finish the race from there. Didn't, technically finish the race, but tried my best.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no.
Your tire went out and you had to.
Yep. So it's a 24.8 mile bike and around 18, between mile marker 18 and 19, which luckily is kind of right near the transition point. Popped the tire.
So you just get a new tire?
No. Walked it back to the transition point and was like, you can run from here if you want. I was like, yeah, I guess I might as well.
Oh, shit. Damn.
Yeah, I flagged, there's people there that can help you. It's like, do you have a spare tire? I'm like, no. It's like, if there's something they can patch it for you. So
yeah, that's a whole. Eventually, I'm gonna get into. I will do an Ironman at some point.
The full thing.
The full thing, 140.
You're crazy.
But it's not just the training. Especially mostly with the bike. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. That you're okay, I'm doing good, but I popped a tire or something happens. That's the kind of shit where.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, the Ironman 11, 12 hours long.
Yeah, and you gotta train a long time for that, and you have to train a lot each week. You have to dedicate 3 hours a day for 5-6 days a week for
months,
half a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it at some point.
All right.
Probably not now when the childrens are little, but at some point. Maybe we
just go ahead and we target the 40 and up division. We start training now.
I was just gonna say, you and I, we just life. We got a lot to do over the next decade, but 10, 15 years from now, we'll come back around. We'll obviously still be doing this podcast.
Obviously.
And we'll go do one of the cool Ironmans in Utah or somewhere cool.
Somewhere cold.
Cold?
I don't do heat.
I understand that, but let's not do cold. Let's do
like they never do them cold, but
do something nice and cool. Somewhere you can like run in like 50s, 60s.
Yeah,
last year when I ran the half with Zach, my brother, it was like the first humid day of the summer.
That's tough. Yeah.
And you train you run a spring half marathon and you're training like
you're training in 50, 60 degree weather, and then you show up for race day and 78 and humid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tough.
That's
tough.
Yeah. So the good thing about my triathlon this year is my heat time is going to be 2 hours earlier. So instead of starting at 8, I should probably be done by like 8:30. So
love that.
Yeah, that's gonna be huge because it was toasty for like the last 2 miles of that run. I was like dying.
Yeah, it's not good. All right, we'll dive into a little Iowa football and then we'll get out of here. The Iowa Hawkeyes have 12 games on this schedule, and this is an interesting way to think about this. As a player, we've tried to establish this before. And Kevin, maybe you can, if you'd like, you can expand on it, but it's pretty simple. You kind of just look at the next game on the schedule as the most important game.
For sure. Yes.
There's no other,
especially once you get into the season, like you're dialed in on the next game. Maybe, during the summer you can kind of think about the season as a big picture type deal. It's like, oh man, that's gonna be a good game, or like that's gonna be a tough one or whatever. They're not even thinking about Albany right now. They're still thinking about just, getting the playbook in and everybody learning how to do their freaking job. But yeah, once game week rolls around, it's just week by week. There's no looking forward whatsoever.
There's no mental space to do it any other way. And if you are, you're wasting time and effort.
Yeah.
I did hear an interesting thing. So Leistico got, I think, like an hour with Tim Lester. And that podcast went up this past week. And I listened to that as I was working out yesterday. And Lester's sort of fascinating to listen to. We got to listen to Brian a lot. So anytime we heard from Brian, it was like, okay, this is cool. But like we've already heard a lot of him talk, you and I personally.
Mm-hmm.
Lester, we don't know him. So it's fun to listen to a guy and a guy coming from a completely different background, getting into the details of the Shanahan offense, getting into how he approaches the philosophy of coaching and stuff like that. And he talked about in the offseason how he spent a lot of time this offseason specifically, and it was kind of a throwaway comment, but it stuck in my brain. He took a lot of time this offseason to study Iowa State's defense. And because it's so unique.
Yeah. Well, there's a bunch of teams that run it now, but yeah,
it's more unique.
It's more unique, and it can cause a lot of issues for offenses.
Right. And he didn't necessarily say that he spent more time on Iowa State's defense than other defenses, but the way that he said it made me think he probably did.
So I'm guessing it's more along the lines of most of the other teams that we'll see this year. I don't know off the top of my head if anyone else runs that 3-3-5 defense. Maybe Nebraska does now.
I feel like
Nebraska still run a 3-4.
I feel like Nebraska has toyed with it a little bit, but maybe
I think Nebraska still runs a 3-4. Actually, now I think about it. But yeah, all your other, it's like 3-4, 4-3.
Yeah,
and they're the only one, to my knowledge. Indiana might run it now too. That runs that like 3-3-5 type defense.
And it's just different.
Yeah, so it's like, it's not like, okay, you show up Sunday after games, like, okay, what do we got? We got a 3-4 or we got a 4-3 under defense this year. Here's our principles that we want to get done versus how we attack 4-3 defenses versus, you might want to get a heads up on something you don't see that often.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, if you're, Army's on the schedule this year, it's like, okay, maybe in camp we'll have to, do a couple of emphasis periods on how to defend the option in the V or whatever.
Yeah, and that's a good way to put it. Actually, emphasis. It's not even necessarily that it's more important. You're prioritizing it. It's an emphasis on we're just spending a little more time. But in a way, I think if there was a way for the guys on the inside to say, oh, this game or this team or this defense or this offense is more important to focus on, it might show up in ways like that, where Leicester is trying to learn more about this defense because it just simply is one he hasn't gone up against as much.
I don't think anybody runs in the NFL either.
Yeah. And it doesn't mean that Iowa State is more important to Coach Leicester, but maybe he spends more
it's
time.
Something you don't see as often, so you have to spend more time prepping for it. Basically, that kind of be my take on.
Yeah. But if you were to do it at the end of the year, and it would be very hard in nuance to kind of fish through this, and I'm sure there's other people who have deeper analytics and could actually tell you, they could place a value on these games of like, hey, 0 to 10, what's the P score on, the power quotient on what this game means to Iowa's, let's call it postseason potential, right? If you were going to take Iowa's 12 games, 1 through 12, or on a 1 to 10 scale and rate each of them, how much weight does each one have on Iowa making the playoffs? There's other factors, right? Because if Iowa wins Oregon or Penn State, likely one of those higher games of like, wow, this would do a lot for them making the postseason, but they lose the other 11 games, they're not making the postseason, right? So it's not the only factor. But if Iowa beats Albany and Iowa beats Penn State, the Penn State game is going to mean more. It just is.
But if you lose to Albany, that's a stain on your record that you're not going to overcome.
Sure. There is two sides to it.
Like you lose to Albany week 1, and you even go 10-2 after that. So you beat either Oregon or Penn State. They might still leave you out of it.
If you lose to Oregon and Penn State and you beat everybody else, oh no, but you said Albany, yeah. Yeah, man. It might help that it's the first game of the year.
It does help, yeah. It does help. For some reason it does. It shouldn't, in my opinion.
It shouldn't, but it does.
For some reason it does.
But what I'm getting at,
every game's super important.
Yeah, but what I'm getting at here is there is probably a way, and it can be. Kevin and I are going to talk this out, but it can be a little bit subjective. But what are the top 5? Is what we're going to go over. What are the top 5 most important games on Iowa's schedule this year? And this is all things considered. Home and
we're
away.
Talking in terms of how to make the playoff.
Yeah, how to fight for position in the Big Ten, which is obviously just based on record. But if you're looking at, well, I guess it would just be to the playoff because there's a system as far as wins, losses go, and record and opponents and all that stuff. But yes, when the playoff sits down and they go to subjectively at some point have to compare teams and be like, hey, is 9-3 Iowa as good as 9-3 Ole Miss? Who's better? Like, which of these games are going to matter the most on Iowa's schedule? That is kind of what we're discussing.
Yeah. And I think we can go ahead and say this. I don't think a 9-3 Iowa team makes it.
Doubtful.
I mean, you can look at quality losses, quote unquote, if they lose to Penn State, if they lose to Oregon, and I don't know. Indiana's going to have probably a decent squad. Iowa State probably has a decent squad, and USC, I don't know.
It'd be really tough with 3 losses.
But like you look at beyond that, it's like, okay, well, who they beat, right?
Yeah,
and that's probably not going to be enough to get them in. So
no, because if
10-2 minimum, and I think even a 10-2 it's a bubble team.
I think we got a shot at 10-2, and that's really where the conversation is. Okay, now who are the 2 teams you lost to? Which wins did you get?
I think if they're 10-2 and they beat either Oregon or Penn State and drop a close one to like another good team, like a good Indiana, a good Iowa State, or good Nebraska, then they have a better shot than if they're 10-2 with losses versus Penn State and Oregon. Also, it's going to depend. Like, hey, those losses, did you show up? Did you get run out of the stadium?
Yes, that's huge. That is huge. And Iowa generally, not just like the last 5 years or even our KF and the squad usually plays close, usually doesn't get blown out in losses. Now, there's a couple asterisks.
It's got us a couple times.
Couple asterisks there. Couple Big Ten championships where we decided to not show up, and those were what are we going to call those? During the dark years, I guess.
Those were
it's during the Ice Age.
It's tough to call a Big Ten championship team
a dark year, right?
Dark year.
Unreal, kind of, but like low key. I think right off the bat, you look at the schedule, Kevin, and you see Oregon and Penn State, and those are the two.
Yeah, I mean those are gonna be two games the committee looks like, hey, can this team compete, right? It's like what do they want to avoid? Do they want to avoid putting teams in the playoff that are just going to get run off the field by the number 2 seed or whatever, It's like so.
But do those games take the 1 and 2 slot?
Yes. Totally. Yeah. Because even if they lose, they have to show up.
Okay. Because
if you're talking about how to make the playoff,
the performance still matters.
If you win, it's a huge, huge plus on your resume.
Yeah.
If you get blown out, it's like kind of hey, this team doesn't belong with the big dogs type.
Yeah, it's a scar on the resume.
So put them wherever you want. It's 1 and 2. Plus both games are at home too. So it's 1 and 2.
I'm gonna say that you could go two ways. You could say, well, Penn State is the first of the two, and that's your first test. Or you could say, well, later in the year, that's what leaves a bigger impression. It's more it's recency bias. If they get Oregon on that first weekend, or I guess it's technically the second weekend in November, people are going to remember that. I'm going to go with Oregon at 1 and then Penn State at 2.
That's fine. Yeah. Honestly, I'd probably just switch them around just because Penn State is predicted to be better than Oregon this year.
That's true.
But, preseason predictions mean jack shit. So
it's kind of like a 1A.
Put them 1 and 2 either way you want, in my opinion. But if you want to put Oregon number 1, go for it.
And the other reason why these are really important games, Kevin, is they are in Iowa City.
They are in Iowa City.
You cannot, even in I think they're going to 16 teams next year, but you cannot come out in a 16-team format, 14 to 16-team format, where you're like, we could lose 2 games. Those losses can't be big losses. And man, if they're at home, you have the advantage.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tough look. If Penn State and Oregon come in and win by 2 to 3 touchdowns apiece,
coming off a bye from Oregon too.
I don't know. There are probably some circumstances. There's some,
hopefully we get a big noon kickoff. It'll be a 9 a.m. start for the Oregon team.
It's hard to then sit on the black and gold side of the aisle and really vouch for them in a hey, we deserve to be in the playoff.
Yeah, totally.
If that happens, those are at home. Iowa generally, outside of I think I'm going to call them the dark years. Outside of the dark years, we've been able to compete with teams like this. We did it. We did it twice. I mean, actually, fuck that. We did it 3 times. We lost to Penn State at the buzzer, but that was, we're competed.
It was supposed to be a 17-point spread, I think.
So we have to get back to that, and that's one of the bigger questions for this Iowa team in general this year is, can we get back to competing with showing life against top 10 teams? But if it's at home in Iowa City, man, that it can't even be a question. That thing's got to go to the fourth quarter with a chance. 1-2, Penn State, Oregon. You guys at home can put it in your own. Kevin and I had them flipped. I don't think it matters. They're the 2 marquee matchups of the year.
Number 3 is going to be the last game of the year for me. It's going to be
Nebraska.
Yeah, that last game of the year, again, fresh in the committee's minds. Nebraska's got a cakewalk of a schedule. They really should be 8-3 at least coming into that game. So they'll probably be ranked. So I'm going to go with Nebraska number 3.
Rivalry game. Trophy game.
Yep.
Close game every single year for the past million years.
2017 with the exception.
Beat that ass.
Yeah, it was a fun game.
Beat that ass.
So 16 and 17, but 18 on, it's been close.
Nebraska at 3. I'm looking at the schedule. And again, there's other factors too, because I look at the Indiana team and I look at the Iowa State teams, and you think, well, in hindsight, if you take me 4 months from now, if those teams have put out great seasons, well, then sure, those are going to be weighted higher. If you got a win against Iowa State and Indiana, and then both those teams rattle off another 9 or 10 win seasons, and if Nebraska just, Matt Rule, they win another 7 games and they're trying to get number 7 or 8 against us, then yeah, you could probably argue it the other way. But if you just look at it right now, expectation wise, I think you're right. I think that's the last outing you have to kind of show what you got.
Yeah, it's more of a positional, like if the Nebraska game and the Indiana game were swaps, like say we played Nebraska in September, Indiana in the last game, I'd say Indiana was number.
I agree. Looking at it that way, I agree. So I say Nebraska's good at 3. So you have Penn State, Oregon, and Nebraska off the board. And then you're basically looking at 3 games. It's Iowa State, it's Indiana, and it's USC.
I'm gonna go Iowa State here. Early measuring stick for the team. Get some early momentum, start off 2-0, put a little belief, get some wind behind your sails, get the fans all excited.
First big test for Mark Gronowski.
Yep. I'm going to put Iowa State number 4.
Iowa State at 4. I'm okay with that. I look at that USC game. USC is supposed to be, we're going to pull up the FanDuel odds here in a second, but I'm looking at conference winners on the FanDuel app. You can currently find USC with the 5th best odds to win the conference at plus 2,000, right in front of Iowa in 6th at plus 3,600. FanDuel, by the way, the only sports book you should be using if you're part of the Walk-On Army. They're expecting a little jump, a little life out of USC this year. They're expecting a little bit.
I would hope so.
Which, by the way, blue blood, come on. Hey.
It's like, come on, poking it with a stick. Do something.
Do something, right? And I look at, again, Iowa State, front of the season, out of conference. You hate to say it, but like you go and you lose to Iowa State, and it would hurt. It would hurt as a Hawkeye fan. But if you go and lose to Iowa State, but then you rattle off 6 in a row against UMass, Rutgers, Indiana, Wisconsin, Penn State, Minnesota, and you're going into Oregon at, 7-1? People are going to start to forget about that Iowa State game. But
if you're in contention for your Big Ten title for an appearance, yeah, sure.
But I agree. Nebraska, Penn State, Oregon, Nebraska, Iowa State. I'm fine with it. Are you going USC or Indiana as your 5th?
I was going to go Indiana, playoff team last year.
Yeah.
I think they have a tough schedule. I think I think they're going to revert to the mean a little bit this year.
You think?
I don't know. I'm good with either, but I'd probably lean towards Indiana. But again, USC is late in the year. It's an away game. If you go out to LA and grab a win out there,
I kind of lean USC, man.
Okay, I'm cool with it.
I think Penn State, Oregon, Nebraska, Iowa State, USC are the games, if you're going to rank them, where you're like, holy shit, these mean something. Which is wild to say. Then you put the player cap back on and you're like, oh, this feels dirty. Just sitting here acting like, Minnesota doesn't matter, or like,
yeah, but you win those 5 games and you go 5-7, everyone's going to tell you how terrible the season.
You're right. Yeah, if you win 5 games and it's against Albany, UMass, Rutgers, Wisconsin, and Minnesota, people are going to be like, okay, maybe.
Yeah, last I checked on FanDuel, we're at 7.5 wins for the over.
And a lot of teams are. They love to put those teams at 7.5 win totals right here. 7.
You got the Big Ten win totals up?
I have. This is bringing up everybody's win totals. 8. I'm on the app right now. I'm on the Heisman. Oh, let's look at some Heisman odds. FanDuel, isn't it? Ward's winners brought to you by FanDuel. How does that sound?
Sounds excellent.
Current best Heisman odds is Arch Manning. Are you kidding me?
Oh, that feels strictly because of just name recognition and that's where people are putting their money. So they have to odds accordingly.
Is there any good money here? CFB playoff. Let's see. Iowa to make the college football playoff. Yes, plus 730. No, minus 1300.
730, man. I would want a little bit more than that.
Yeah, it feels like you want a little more. What do they got Illinois at? Wow, Illinois at plus 540.
They got a good schedule for them. They got a favorable schedule.
Nebraska plus 630. Oh man, they got Nebraska with better odds than us.
Cakewalk schedule, man.
The easy fucking schedule. We're gonna have to. I plan on bringing on Searles here one time before do our little Iowa, Nebraska schedule walkthrough prediction. I'm very curious to see if he's gonna jump into the 9-3 or better realm this year. Because he's when he comes on the show, he's very down to earth, like level-headed kind of.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But there's a legitimate argument for 9-3 or better for Nebraska this year.
No doubt. No doubt.
I'm curious to see we'll see what he says, but they have better odds to make the college football playoff. Ohio State minus 320. Yes, no, plus 245. I mean, it's gonna be. It's just they're just gonna make it. Dude, could Scuba Frank just fuck up the season for Penn State? Could we just make money on saying no, they're not gonna make the college football playoff? I'd love to do it.
What's the no bet?
Plus 225. I'd love it if it was
Who
like
do they play? Who's Penn State's schedule?
Pull up Penn State football schedule here. Penn State. I don't think it's a great schedule, but so
Nevada,
they're gonna open
Florida
up
International,
Nevada, Florida International, Villanova. Just the worst three.
So 3-0. Then they get Oregon.
They get Oregon at home to open Big Ten play. They do get them off of a bye though.
So,
man, Oregon gets
UCLA at home. That's gonna be tough for UCLA.
Northwestern,
chalk it up.
Then
Hawks,
it's Iowa.
They do play Ohio State.
Yeah, Indiana. I mean, they've got some teams. They got a few teams that could cause issues. I mean, they could realistically lose to Oregon, Ohio State, Iowa, if Indiana's good. Like, those are 4 games that they could lose.
Who knows what Nebraska's like at week 11?
Yeah, if Nebraska's good this year, it would. Especially if that was in Lincoln, it's not. But if that was in Lincoln, that would be.
The thing about Franklin though is he usually takes care of the games they're supposed to win. I don't think they usually don't drop games they're not supposed to.
Yeah, you're right.
But he's just got a tough time winning the big game. So I think 10-2 Penn State still makes it if they drop Oregon and Ohio State. So they'd have to drop another game at some point.
Hawkeyes.
Could be. Plus 220. Do the Hawks beat Penn State?
Do they have how far out do we have? I don't even know if we have a.
Yeah, you probably get better odds just betting the money line on the Hawks.
Iowa over 7.5 wins. Again, FanDuel Sportsbook. Download it right now. We don't have a code. Just download it. Over 7.5 wins plus 134. Under 7.5 wins minus 164.
Juice is on the under, huh?
FanDuel's against the boys.
It's not a believer in Mark Kanowski, huh?
7 wins, man. I know it's a tough schedule, but like,
there's 8 wins out there.
They think we're gonna lose to Oregon, Penn State, Iowa State, Nebraska, and Indiana. We're gonna lose all the big games. We can't. There's no way.
If you look at it like, hey, you got an 80% chance to win this game, a 70% chance to win this game, 30% chance. They probably just do the numbers,
These FanDuel, great sports book. One of the best sports books there is. The greatest. They've built it. They've built an incredible product.
I've worked with other sports books, and let me tell you, these guys are the best.
I walked in and I said, wow, what a great sports book. Unbelievable.
What a great institution.
The juice on these numbers, on these plays, the parlays. I'll tell you what. We're going to make a lot of money on FanDuel Sportsbook this year. I don't know if FanDuel wants us doing a Trump. promo for them.
They knew what they got into.
But shit, man. All right. So you guys tell us what you guys think. Tell us if you flip them around. I'm gonna go with Kev's order on the first one. We'll go Penn State, Oregon, Nebraska, Iowa State. Where we go? USC. USC. Are those your 5 most important games? How would you reorder them? Tell us in the YouTube comments down below. Smash the like button. Every time I say that, I just think of the influencers who are like, smash that like button, put your face right under that subscribe button, and just give yourself CTE, man. I miss Grant.
I miss him too.
It feels quiet in here without him, honestly.
Even though he doesn't say a whole lot. But
yeah, he doesn't say anything. Yeah. Again, join the army. All the things, right? Join the Patreon army. Go to the walk-on store. Oh, I fucked up, Kev. I forgot to tell the people to come see us at Fry Fest. And when I say us, I mean me. And Kevin for 90 minutes if you catch him. Maybe he'll have a Easy Eddie in his hand. Who knows? I don't think you can bring beer in there, actually. Don't.
Oh, it doesn't sound like my kind of event then.
Oh, well. Pork tornadoes afterwards. A lot of fun stuff happening. Shout out to FanDuel and Big Grove for sponsoring the podcast this year. We will be back. The first live that I was talking about, that first live recording, is going to be the Thursday night of the first preview, right? So I was taking on Albany the 30th? That Thursday, that Wednesday night will be the first live that we do on time. Everything else up until that point we'll be banking these episodes and prepping for the season. But we want you to join us. So subscribe to the YouTube if you haven't, like I said. Subscribe to the podcast on all audio platforms. Get your checkbook out, the credit card, go swipe it at the walk-on store. Help us ring up those donations and join the Patreon. Love you all. We'll see you next time. Peace.